make sure you score early and often.
When LA and Philly meet, you can count on it.
Alec Boehm has extended his on-base streak to 25 games.
Wiggle Wiggle says Boehm runner on second, no one out, Philly's down by a run.
Squares around to bunt, does so firmly to third. Hernandez bobbles and throws, and he's safe.
If you watched this for a while, you know what this call is, but we're going to listen to the broadcaster anyway.
Calling defensive interference on Miggy Rojas because he was out.
As Roberts waits patiently, this is not interference, it's obstruction. Joe Davis, tell us about it.
Now, the definition of obstruction is when a fielder either not in possession of the ball or not in the act of fielding a throw is in the way and impedes the runner.
Well done, that's pretty much the rule. A fielder not in possession, not in the act of fielding impedes the progress of any runner.
And I don't know how it's interference when he's got to come over to cover the bag.
I'm always amazed when the play-by-play broadcaster knows more about rules than the actual analyst, so gold star to Joe Davis here, really turning broadcaster roles on its head.
That's why this doesn't make sense to me, because, I mean, this is a great play all around. I mean, what are you supposed to do?
You'll notice the definition ignores intent. In fact, obstruction often occurs unintentionally. So let's drill down on the act of fielding component.
Slid into his foot,
he slid into his foot.
Which was in front of the bag.
Yeah.
Now, this is one of the emphasis this year, blocking in the bag.
This season's obstruction point of emphasis concerns active fielding, specifically fielders taking advantage of that exception to the rule.
Running to cover the bag, to field the throw, and make a fantastic play.
This year's point of emphasis reinterprets the rule so that active fielding is now only that which is necessary positioning to field the throw. Which is why angles from the side are not useful. Instead, we need an angle from behind third, high third. That's more in line with the umpire's actual position. But the umpire's going to ask himself 4 questions. 1. Did the fielder actually impede the runner in running the bases? Answer, yes. The foot-on-foot contact confirms that. 2. What was the ball's status not when the contact occurs, but when the interfering act first started?
Field the throw and make a fantastic play.
Answer, the fielder was just entering the act of fielding when he first encroached upon the runner's base path. 3's the controversial one. Did the fielder absolutely need to occupy that space?
But it's the interpretation of the umpire.
Yes.
When it comes to this. Yeah, maybe his foot could have been.
He slid into his foot.
Question 4. What type of obstruction is this?
And the interpretation of the rule is such that you cannot do this. So it may not have been the wrong call by Hunter Wendelstedt.
This is obstruction type 1. We don't care if the runner was going to be safe or out. This is not a nullify the act situation for the obstructed runner. That runner automatically gets the next base, which in this case is third.
But Hunter Wendelstedt was right on it.
Not a fan of yelling at players. Definitely not of going directly to stop sign mode when the manager first requests an explanation. The umpire manual, by the way, says not to do either of the things we just saw.
That's the rule. It's going to get thrown out of the ball game.
On the one hand, if you do issue warnings, that's how to do it. But 2, this isn't balls and strikes, it's not replay. The manager is allowed to get an explanation here. That said, this will turn into a refusal to stop arguing ejection.
Wendelstedt's doing a good job just walking away. He's out of the game. You can't argue it. You're not allowed.
Not quite. Obstruction is not a protected call like balls and strikes or replay. So while Hunter does a good job ejecting after warning, he fails to follow other parts of the manual that might have prevented this ejection in the first place.
In the wake of Angel Hernandez's retirement, people around the game, fans are wondering who's going to step forward as the umpire who's going to make each game about him. And Hunter Wendelstedt was actually one of the favorites selections, one of the leaders in the clubhouse, so to speak. He's the guy who ejected Aaron Boone for something a fan said earlier.
I'm not sure if that is the spirit of the rule in interpretation of the rule.
No, it is. He was technically blocking the back.
Technically he was, yes.
So you're saying this call was
technically correct. The best kind of correct.